Welcome back to League Play. My name is Asterix, Yummy Cheeseman, and Korea Lord, and we are proudly supported by Macca's. I want you to know that the Monopoly game at Macca's is back. 1 in 5 instantly win.
Baby.
That means you pull the thing off, you go, I've won some chips. I'm excited. Would you let that sink in? Korea Lord.
I would let that sink in.
Good. I don't need to ask Yummy because he just yells at me. Noizee isn't toxic. The debut into League Play. This is exciting because Noizee isn't toxic individually. I think, Yummy, we'll start with you. You know a lot about this team and the players.
They're three really great players. We have Outlast, who returns from the last season with a completely different team.
The Demolition King.
He was playing with Dumbo. No, he was playing with Daisu last season, so another name that we've seen. But those three are really great players, with Zest and Noizee being solid 1v1 player, a solid team player as well. And we don't know how they're going to perform. This is their first real test.
Ooh, it's exciting. I'm really pumped to see how they go because we don't know where these wildcards sit in terms of the ladder. Can they go in and beat out one of the Power 6, or are they kind of relegated to sit at the bottom?
If they can beat out Legacy, then they can beat any of those top 6 teams.
That's right.
We know that those top 6 have sat ahead of the rest of the competition for a while now, and this is their chance to prove that they are good enough.
But individually, I think they are better than some of the players in those top 6 teams. It's just about how they mesh together as a team.
But what example?
Let's look at maybe Avant Gaming. Let's look at
Wow.
Sirix. I can't believe I went there straight away.
Hates
This
Avant
guy.
Gaming.
I love Avant.
What is it about Avant that you hate?
Why do you hate Avant?
I don't hate Avant.
What is wrong with Avant?
Part about Avant?
I don't hate Avant.
Give us one bad thing about it.
Because one of the members on the LOL side, he spells his name Jake as in Jayke.
That's not even relating to this game.
I know, but
You don't even follow Torsos, but at least you follow Avant. So that's something.
I think I follow Sirix.
I think all three are individually really great. They don't have that big experience on those big stages. So it's very hard to say that individually any of them are better than like players from Avant.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And individual play is important. Like, you do have Outlast who can do great solo plays, but they can sometimes come at a cost of your team performing well. And if you can do a big solo play that looks awesome, gets you a goal, or looks awesome, doesn't get you a goal, loses the match, that's kind of important.
So coming through into this series, I guess the biggest question for me is a team that isn't an org. I mean, what are your percentage chances before we do go into prediction? Like, how are Noizee actually going to take it?
It's really tough. As I said, with the wildcards, we haven't really seen them tested. We haven't seen them play. This is their first tournament. They only formed for the qualifiers. And so we don't know. For them to win, it's going to have to be them playing well.
And their own style. Maybe their own style. Bam, bang, you just hitting me with all these.
They just have to get more goals than their opponents.
That's how you win Rocket League. Korea. Let's go to predictions now.
I think that Noizee are going to lose 3-1.
Oh, you
that
debated me a little bit there.
That means Legacy.
I'm definitely going to go for Legacy, and I actually think this might be a 3-0.
I think that Noizee are such a good team, and better than Avant Gaming, better than Legacy, better than Chiefs. 3-0 for Noizee.
Is that because one of their players isn't toxic?
Noizee is toxic. Is Noizee toxic?
No.
Do you follow those players?
No. But I Discord Noizee quite a lot.
Did they donate bits to your stream?
No one donated bits to my stream.
No one? Not even Pale Horse?
Maybe Pale Horse subbed
Oh,
it.
man, that is some favoritism and bias here.
It's not biased.
Wow.
And you predicted Pale Horse earlier as well.
Hashtag rigged in chat.
But hang on, I've gone against every single team. Let's jump through Legacy Esports. Oh my, that logo, that's why you go. That's sexy. It is, yeah, directed.
Big thanks to our graphic designer Hugh for making that one.
Oh, made it for them, did he?
Yeah, it was good work. But it doesn't matter how good their logo is, they need to prove that they can win on the pitch.
I feel like we're about to sing the jitterbug with what's going on here, but a good start for Legacy Esports as a kickoff. We'll just send them downfield. Noizee's and Toxic, the team, the only team in League Play without an org. They have to prove that their individual talent is going to take them through here. Maybe it does with the first goal.
Just a slammer of a shot, and they're proving that they can do something here against Legacy. There was even somebody on net, Plitz, just didn't have the ability to get up to that slammer in time.
Starting the game off strong. When I get my predictions right, I will yell. I will say quite a lot towards you.
Have you got one right yet today?
Scylla.
Oh,
not exactly with the score, but Scylla. They did good. They did very good.
They did well.
Did good.
Okay. Noizee isn't toxic. They, as you said, are the only team without an org. If they prove themselves right here, there's definitely going to be an org right at their doorstep.
Exactly right. I mean, getting into league play, I'm surprised no one's really approached them yet anyway, but the better they do...
Oh, they've had approaches for sure.
Want to stay as individual? I mean, the best offer, that's what they need to take right here.
Well, it just takes more than 2 days to, you know, figure out who you want to go with.
Exactly. Players like Outlast have proven themselves before, but right here, league play is the chance, the opportunity for these players to step on up. Noizee leading by a goal against Legacy is a great start, but Legacy in the past have had these first, second game jitters, or at least feeling out their opponents, like you said. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Legacy continue to sort of switch on and Noizees and Toxic get a bit under pressure.
Oh my goodness, Outlast! What a solo play all the way down the pitch. We know he can do these. The first one there, this 50-50 with Zen, sees the angle he's coming in, and that's the 1v1 prowess from Outlast.
That's the 1v1 coming through from Noizees and Toxic, getting that goal, really going with my prediction, but a great start coming through. Maybe not. What a kickoff! Zen will secure.
That's pretty tough. You don't normally see a kickoff goal like that in threes. Zen by himself all the way down. And maybe they just haven't formed a kickoff strategy yet. Noizees and Toxic, sometimes it's the last thing you practice.
I mean, that was a little bit unexpected. I don't know if that happened to me. I'd let that one through anyway. But I let a lot of goals through. And Zen, God, setting himself up again and again. Legacy switching on a little bit in game one. Getting the feelers out. Well, it feels like now the feelers are definitely out. Another goal for Legacy.
This is a quick shutdown by Legacy. Just noticing the rotations from Noizees and Toxic aren't good enough to deal with the intercepts. So that is going to play into Legacy's advantage so far.
I love how you point out. I mean, like, they figure out after 2 minutes, Noizees and Toxic, what are their gaps?
Well, normally it takes longer for Legacy. It's obviously been something they've worked on to just really adapt a lot quicker in these games because they're tied in the first game of the series. That's so un-Legacy-like.
I mean, so far we've had pretty high goal-scoring game. 4 goals under 2 minutes. Sorry, over 2 minutes, and it has been very different from the rest of our games today.
Both of these teams love the offense too, and they're not too concerned about the defense so far. And that's why there's a lot of goals just coming in.
Well, getting the goal scored instantly at 2-2 means that Legacy have some breathing room, but Zest making sure nothing happens. You saw Outlast flew up for that ball as well.
I think that was Outlast ball. Zest maybe just going a little bit too ham, which is surprising. They have definitely adapted since we saw them in the qualifiers. They've definitely changed, but it's also introduced maybe Zest being a bit more aggressive than what we saw before.
We just saw bumps coming through, like friendly fire from Noizees and Toxic. Couple of miscommunications. We can see that Legacy can capitalize on that. Right now, onto the offense. A quick demolition from Plitz will get Noizee, and Soma pushes the ball forward. There's Plitz off the backboard. The follow-through expected from Zen. Luckily, Zest will get the heck out of there and have his own time. Zest hits it back, rolls over the ball. It's going to follow through, and Legacy get another opportunity.
Legacy have this one forward, but there's no one there. They can't set up the attack just yet, as it feels a little bit like Scylla. They didn't have enough boost.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, Scylla did adapt. For Noizees and Toxic, this looks a little bit harder to find that adaptation.
It seems definitely difficult right now. Noizees and Toxic haven't been together so long. The fact that they are tied right now is a huge deal and really shows what they can do, but it doesn't matter if they can't take down the game.
That's right. Doesn't matter, because Legacy, we always know they'll bring it right back. Being in that top 6 versus a team that is in that 7th, 8th position could be a big question. I think Legacy, however, do seem like they're in control in game 1, especially after getting those quick 2 goals. Noizees and Toxic struggling a little bit to find that pressure down the other side of the field, and Soma, against 3 people, doesn't look phased.
Well, they keep getting into these 1v3 situations, and Legacy need passes to score goals. They're not typically going for those big solo plays.
No, because if you go for solo plays, I think Noizees and Toxic will be in their comfort zone right there.
Definitely seems right now that Noizees and Toxic are struggling to get any kind of opportunity in attack. Legacy have figured out their defense, and as it hits potential overtime, they now have to also worry about the nerves. There is a breakaway. Noizee gets past the defense as well. One last shot, but it gets cleared away by Legacy.
They let the ball bounce. We go into overtime for game number 1, and to shore this thing up, Legacy Esports taking win number 1 would be what we expect. That's a opportunity for Soma. Plitz cleaning up. That should be a goal, Yummy, but it's not.
Why is Plitz missing this? This shouldn't be, at his level of play, something that he ever misses. And that just shows the level of nerves and maybe a lack of patience coming out from Plitz.
Well, Plitz tries to recover it. Legacy themselves are pretty much trying to push the ball up. Zen around the corner will receive Zest, and Outlast won't find the reciprocation, but Soma just has a shot. Plitz waiting in the wing. All of Legacy pushing up, so although they missed that shot, definitely not relieving any pressure.
No pressure here, and we're seeing chances for Legacy to overcommit. They keep sending a lot of people at each of these balls. This is open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought Zen might even save that one. I was worried for a second there.
This has been a very, what would you call it?
Even that touch there by Plitz was not the banger that we'd normally see from Plitz.
We can see the distinguishers in these teams, though, right? Like, I mean, Legacy, I think they're still sort of completing.
It's been really odd. I think both of these teams are struggling in different ways. Legacy are overcommitting with 2 people going for the same ball, but because they know that they are able to go for that, they know how each other play, they're playing off that.
Okay.
But doesn't matter if Noizee are doing, you know, they're going for their big solo plays, they're maybe like being extra aggressive. They actually don't understand each other quite as much as they do the Legacy squad.
I mean, Noizees and Toxic had such a great start, but then you could really see the flaws. Like Legacy, it's almost like they're playing with their food a little bit. And then we saw the weaknesses. We saw what Legacy kind of did against Silla Esports when they dropped the ball. They come into overtime and they're just like, yeah, we'll take it.
It was a really hard to tell game as well because Noizee and Toxic got the first 2 goals coming through. They got them in really quick fire fashion. They did really well, but then Legacy just tightened up in their defense. So even the fact that they were overcommitting on attack, their defense was so strong that we didn't really see any more opportunities from Noizee and Toxic.
I mean, so the Noizee, you know, we were asking before how Noizee and Toxic win, and there were question marks going into the air, like, you know, we haven't seen them properly yet.
This second game is the big test for both of these teams. It's about, Rocket League is about how you adapt. It's about how you use this 60 seconds between each game to discuss what you need to do, and we're about to find out if Noizee isn't Toxic and Legacy can adapt.
We need this from Legacy. I mean, they have just dropped the game to Silla Esports unexpectedly. If they want to take another series, then, ladies and gentlemen, you need to see Legacy pick up this next win and full-on drive into the heart of a 3-0 or at least a 3-1. Let's see how they go. Plitz has been set up again, and Noizees and Toxic are going to have to deal with a sharp angle. Luckily, the ball doesn't find its way into that corner, and Noizees and Toxic will get some breathing room for now.
Zen so fast to that ball, and maybe just a little bit too fast, but it makes it so hard to defend when he gets these shots on.
Zen setting up the backboard. The play goes back to Noizee. Soma hits the ball. Received well. Outlast being set up and almost an own goal. Oh, my Lord.
He needed to touch that. There was no way he could leave it.
Yep.
The fact that it hit the side post, maybe close for comfort.
Well, Legacy will still survive for now, and Noizees and Toxic almost find their first goal. A shot in, and the ball may have just been left for Zen. It bounces back. Soma's there. Received well. Legacy putting on the pressure in front of goal. It's a good start for the tree.
The tree? You mean it's the sapling?
It's a tree.
No, I mean a good start for a tree is a sapling.
Yes, it's a sapling.
I shouldn't have to explain these jokes to you.
But I made it. You don't have to explain my own joke. It's not a joke.
What?
It's what it is. A tree.
You're a joke.
You're a joke.
What's happened?
I don't know.
We used to be casting Rocket League.
But
we won't be anymore.
We're not because, I mean, this is Legacy versus Noizee. These are 2 teams who...
You're saying that this isn't Rocket League?
No, this is Rocket League. I'm pretty sure that... Is this Rocket...
Yeah, I've seen this game before.
You good, because
Okay, let's get back into it.
We are back into it. We're 2 minutes in, and Noizees and Toxic have had some pretty good shots. Legacy Esports have responded well, but 0-all. Outlast setting up Zest. Zen will be the defender. Plitz missing a lot of balls in this series.
Plitz hasn't seemed on. Zen has seemed overly aggressive. And Outlast! Woo.
Never lucky. Good shot by Outlast. Noizees and Toxic putting on the pressure.
He went for a really tight angle, just not quite paying off. But it really does show the individual skill from Outlast, the fact that he recognized exactly where on the net he needed to shoot.
Yep, Outlast has been pretty much on for the side of Noizees and Toxic. We've just seen some inconsistencies that we expected to see with a team that hasn't really been a team for that long.
To give you some context, I talked to these players earlier in the week, and they weren't even confident they'd win a single series in this competition. That's how much they feel like they haven't had that opportunity to get here. And they're doing really well. They're doing solidly, and I think they've got a good chance of winning this game.
I think they're putting on some hurt onto Legacy Esports. The fact that it is still such a challenge for Legacy, who are growing series by series, is a great sign for Noizees and Toxic.
There's so much more growth for Noizees and Toxic. They only just formed. They haven't reached their final form. They haven't even reached their second form yet.
So, I mean, honestly, like, you're saying they're weak, Yummy?
No, I'm saying they have so much room to grow. So it doesn't matter how good they are. In 2 weeks, I guarantee you they're going to be an even better team.
Yeah, that's what league play does. I mean, in the full 4 weeks that they have, they're going to have so much opportunity to grow, like you said. Watch the growth of Noizees and Toxic. Right now, they're holding strong to Legacy Esports. No shot has gone in. It's a minute remaining. Legacy Esports need to put the hurt on to Noizee because there are some openings that Outlast can really abuse.
This is the 50-50 that comes out from Outlast from his 1v1 skills. But it's not going to quite lead to anything just yet.
Still some good shots, however, coming through from Noizees and Toxic. Another one comes through, and Legacy are coming through strong. Soma drops it into Plitz, met by 2 members of Noizees and Toxic, and Legacy now down this side of the field will have their chance to make this a 1-0.
Well, whoever gets this next goal essentially wins the game and puts themselves commandingly into the series.
Yep.
Because we do know whoever gets the next goal is basically the one that adapted best.
Right now, I mean, you can't pick it. It's kind of 50-50 here.
So close.
Legacy Esports, 20 seconds to push forward. And right now, Noizees and Toxic has the ball down this side of the field. Could be their chance to get that 1-0. Denying the boost away from Zen. Quick demolition. That might mean a lot to Zest. But however, 10 seconds and Legacy have the ball down here. Plitz ready to pass it up. Zen brings it back down. Could be going to overtime. 2 seconds remaining. As we get to 1, Zen, last chance at a shot. Close quarters, but we will go to overtime.
Overtime, and this is another big first test for Noizees and Toxic. How do they deal with a second overtime? How do they deal with this pressure?
Apparently not too well. Legacy have just taken full possession of the ball.
Oh, that was
Zen,
big.
nice touch around the corner. Plitz centers the ball. Soma slows it down. In comes Zen once again, but there's the clear. The follow-through hits the crossbar. Outlast the 3rd time he's hit a post.
He read that better than the Legacy Esports team. As you said earlier, he's showing that individual mechanics, he might be better than the players on Legacy.
So maybe I was right, but maybe I wasn't. We'll find out. Soma pushing forward. 45 seconds into overtime. Legacy look like they have control of the ball now again. Noizee will get the clear, but Zen jumps up. Read so much better by Outlast from this corner. How can they get the angle? Noizees and Toxic need this goal. It's 1-0 to Legacy Esports. A minute into overtime, and right now, the organization struggling. But there's the lob from Soma. And again into overtime, Legacy will take it.
All the way, and as you said, in overtime, a little bit of pressure there for Noizee is too much. And that's 2 overtime victories for Legacy, 2 really, really close games.
But I think the fact that we're going to overtime each time is not really a highlight for Legacy Esports. Like, this should not be happening. Legacy Esports, these players have been around for a while, and comparably, so has Noizee and so has Outlast.
Look, all of these players have played for a long time, but Noizee is in Toxic. They're new to league play. They're
Yep.
new to a $25,000 tournament where RLCS is on the line. And that's where that pressure comes in. And unfortunately, that did seem like the veterancy of Soma just outclassing sort of the nerves of Noizee.
But Outlast, every single time, there was 3 shots he got through, all hit posts.
All posts.
Kind of, I don't know, you could call that was, I wouldn't say unlucky, I mean just direction of the ball maybe, that Outlast struggled with.
It was hard. They were really tough shots. I said to you, like mechanically, Outlast was doing really well. He saw that ball go off the roof, off the backboard. Like most people wouldn't have hit that. But Outlast manages to get through, hits it, and almost gets it into the goal, hits the crossbar, and unfortunately, I don't even think his teammates expected him to be able to hit that.
Yeah, but he did anyway, and he got close.
Got close. Now, it's really tough situation for Noizees and Toxic. It has been really close games, and they have to bring the entire series back as one of the rookie teams here. That's going to be really difficult mentally to do.
Well, one of the rookie teams, however, they have actually put up a fight against Legacy Esports. And in game number 3, Legacy are looking for the first 2-0 of league play for our championship season 4. Can they do it is a question. I mean, Noizee have fought back well, and it has been a bit of an Outlast show so far. Maybe from Noizees and Toxic, we're looking to see more from the rest of the team.
At least on attack, it's been Outlast, but that's his playstyle. He loves going 1v1. That one just almost just rolled in.
Yeah, very close for Legacy Esports, but still hanging on. I mean, has Noizee scored? No, yes, they have. They scored the first 2 goals in the game. So Noizees and Toxic, yes, they have scored a couple of goals, but Legacy Esports still holding out strong, missing the ball from Soma. Will be recovered. Soma goes up, gets the demolition. Is that open? Zest says no. No, Zed, it's not open.
Zest been really solid on defense and maybe even going for that goalkeeper award. I know Outlast and Zest both say that they're going to get it. They're both going to just farm up those saves.
Well, I mean, we are looking to potentially highlight one of our players later. Stay tuned for more, but Legacy Esports right now, they're going to have to hold out against the rookie team of Noizees and Toxic. Like you said, these guys definitely have potential for growth. I think Noizees and Toxic have shown individual talents as a team when they get to that point where they're so great as a unit. I think we could see them contend with this top 6.
They definitely can. They've proven it right here. And even if they lose this game, and it'll be a 3-0, it's showing how tight they are. And with their ability to improve, they can definitely take out other teams in the top 6.
Because right now they're putting pressure onto Legacy Esports. Outlast pushing up his aggressive playstyle. Zest gets the ball bar split. Open goal. There it is. Secured by Zest.
Zest getting that first goal, and that's huge. Zest normally holding further back, just gets the 50-50, carries the entire way past Legacy defense.
Plitz pushes so far forward, but that means the goal's going to go in. 3 minutes remaining. Great start for Game 3 from Noizees and Toxic. Let's see how Legacy responds. Apparently Zen, big hitter from the Legacy side.
That was powerful considering it came off the roof, but it's not going to go anywhere. And Noizees and Toxic, they're now in a happy place.
Where's your happy place, Yummy?
Usually on the Rocket League pitch.
Okay, yeah, so we'll work on that after this game. Put you somewhere nice. Maybe on dunk. What's the drop ball? Is that it? It's been a while. It's been a while. 2:30 remaining. Noizees and Toxic as an individual team are performing well against Legacy, but expecting Legacy to really come back hard. Noizee missing the ball means that it opens it up for Soma. Trying to get it out of there. Outlast pushing forward. Himself, him, and I don't know what's the proper English for that, Yummy?
Alone?
Taking it himself.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Well, Zest, another shot there. Zen has to receive that. That's an opening for Outlast, but he misses it once again.
Again off the side post. Outlast. Just not the accuracy we want from him.
No, but definitely the opportunity for Zen to come through.
The accuracy from Zen was there, and he just slams that one. This is a great pass as well, out from Soma. Very difficult to get it out off the corner.
Did Zen just turn into a bot then? I saw the lightning come down.
Maybe.
Maybe, okay. Not important. 1-1. Legacy have brought it back. This feels like game 1 all over again. With Legacy just suddenly take control. You wouldn't say they've had enough, but you'd just say that they find an opening. That ball going to be stolen away from Outlast. Zest brings it back, and all of Noizee's and Toxic in a great position here. This net was open, but Legacy regain and assert their dominance.
Well, Legacy seem to have the best of the defense so far in the entire series.
Yeah.
And it's not a surprise. They are the longer form team. The rotation should be there.
Right,
As we see, rotation's pretty good right now for Noizees and Toxic as well. Not getting each other's way.
That's right. So making these adaptations on the fly, it's good to see from Noizees and Toxic. And again, we're looking for their improvement over the course of this series, over the course of weeks of league play. Could potentially make their way up into that top 6. It's only time could tell. But Soma is going to make sure that at least with this series, there is no pressure whatsoever. If we go to overtime for a 3rd time, I'll tell you what, Yummy. That'll be everything.
I think the proof is that would just prove how close these two teams are.
Yep.
How defensively minded Legacy has become. Because normally we see a large amount of goals for that team.
That's right. Well, game 1 we saw a high goal scoring game. I'm really going to find a different word for that. 30 seconds remaining, and although it's only 1 apiece, could be seeing overtime once again. Noizees and Toxic probably have one more opportunity to make a big play here. Zest will make sure that ball hits the roof.
They just back off. They don't take the risk.
Yep. Let's go to overtime once again. But the thing is, will the pressure withstand? Like, can Noizees and Toxic let this go to overtime again where Legacy have flourished?
It's so hard to do, but it's also really difficult to play when this counter is just counting you down and saying, hey, you got to hold on, you got to hold on. And
that's holding on.
Legacy held on just as we do hit ourselves into overtime for the 3rd time in this series, and it's only been 3 games. This might be the opportunity to finish it. It doesn't. Does Legacy just clear this away?
So in overtime, we've seen the trend of Legacy Esports really taking hold of this series, and let's see if they can finish it out with a clean, well, hardly clean 3-0. The fact that it's been so close is such a good compliment for Noizees and Toxic. But can they at least take a game off of Legacy? Right now, I mean, I think the answer is definitely yes. But how? Outlast. Opportunity arises. He could do so much here.
They just need to work on their accuracy. They've had the opportunities. They've got some big solo plays going. And they've set up some pressure. But every single time it comes to the crunch, they're just ever so slightly off.
50 seconds into overtime. This is around the time where Legacy take the ball. Nice touch coming through from Zen. Soma will wait on the right wing. Plitz on the left. Sandwich the ball. That's what they want to do here. Soma back over to Plitz. He uses the remaining part of his boost and has a shot at goal, but Outlast brings it back, and he is pretty much just trying to get that solo goal, which he's done in the past. Legacy
could have potentially finished this game, but they're not taking the risk of sending their 3rd man into a passing position. I think that is probably a good choice up against Noizees and Toxic.
Yeah, I think to deal with Outlast, who always pushes so far forward, Zen's the one hanging back, and Soma's just sitting in this net. Hang around the midfield, Zen and Soma push up as a unit. Noizee can't get the clear. Soma waiting around this net. In this goal square, Soma's going to hang back, and Zen trying to push forward. Legacy are just having so much control here, and there it is for the clean 3-0. Plitz will get the last goal.
Plitz out of nowhere once again. This angle very difficult to make, but it's an angle that Plitz has got time and time again. 3 games, 3 overtimes, all Legacy's way.
I think the expected result, especially for you, Yummy, and when Korea comes back, especially for him, but not the expected journey we saw from Noizees and Toxic.
I mean, 3-0? I think that was hard to call, and this series proved that it shouldn't have been a 3-0. It felt like it should have been a game 5 once again.
Korea, 3 overtimes.
Yeah, that was one of these games where I'm going to look forward whenever league play finishes, regardless of where they sit, and think it's unfair that it's going to go down on a sheet of paper that this was a 3-0 series.
And it sucks that that we changed the tiebreakers so that it is game differential, because it actually matters now that they lost 3-0, even though they all went to overtime.
So close call from Noizee.
Sucks for them.
It does. Like, But Noizees and Toxic, they showed potential. I think we
Yep.
can definitely look forward to seeing them in league play, and them going up against teams like Conspiracy Esports will be important as well, and other top 6 teams.
The big thing is they only had to play one series today. So we're going to see them grow over the entire season. That's what I'm really excited for. We've seen these teams grow. We've seen even the Big Six get better and better and get closer and closer to the NA and EU competition. And seeing these new teams come in and play is a big heartfelt, warming thing for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Like, they are, what, like a month old, this team? Why do you hate Love?
I just hate love. I'm just, oh
We need one of these. He doesn't get any of that.
Seems yummy. But for Legacy, this is good.
Yeah.
This is great because like this is the same result as Scylla Esports. We said this
They're
in the
back,
last
baby.
series. Scylla needed that win. Legacy needed this win. So for Legacy, tying it up 1-1, I think this is just as important as it is for Scylla.
It's put them really close. I think they're at a great spot to make it through, but even still, they didn't want to even lose to Scylla. They're not in that commanding position that you want to see at the beginning of league play, but they're still definitely well in it.
And it's a situation as well, if Noizee improves, because that was close, right? If Noizee improves and they end up starting beating all the top teams, it's important that Legacy got this win on them early before they hit peak.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, the adaptation from Noizee and Toxic, we're going to have to watch them throughout the coming weeks, but good for Legacy to tie it up 1-1. When we return from our break, we will have our very last series of the day. Don't go anywhere. In 5 minutes, we'll see you right here.